Didn't get a chance to speak to you about the accounts last week. Thoughts?
I think that's, clearly a question for the hierarchy of the football club more than me. My job title is about performances on the pitch, 100%. That's my full focus and my attention all the time. And the more successful we can be on the pitch definitely helps for that side of the game. Even I think back to speaking about after United, the importance of getting into the quarterfinals of the Cup and what we do in terms of future planning, that was important. So from that point of view, that's great. One thing I would say is the number that's been obviously produced and the number we've put out there is one that the Gordon family have fully supported. And I think I can only talk about the support I've had. The finances and that side to the club is very much for the hierarchy, but when I think back to the support that's been shown to me, very start of the season, the first window, the amount of players we had under contract but still had the ability to bring players in without letting players go. When you think back to the amount of bodies we had, the support we had, which was great, to be able to do that. And then even in the January window, we weren't as active as in terms of the amount of numbers that came in, but it was purely based on if we felt something could be done to make the squad better. We were very supportive of that, and they would have backed us on that, which is great. From my point of view, I've always felt that, and it's another reason why I was so pleased with how the window went, was because of the squad we've got now, the players coming back, the togetherness of the group. And so if you add numbers to that, you always take a risk of how that affects the group at the end of the season, and I think we're in a real good place to finish the season strong.
Given the fact that the Gordon family have supported the club, and it is, I know everybody at the club's grateful for that, do you expect the number though to impact the work that you can do in the summer? Because I know there's a lot of players out of contract this summer. So is it basically a blank sheet of paper then?
No, I think it's probably, when you look at that, when you think back to the number being where it is, was probably because of the additional support I got at the start of the season. To give us to give me every possible chance. The amount of players that are out of contract at the end of the season, we're still very much going to be out of contract at the start of this season and future planning. It was also something I talked about at the start of the January window. It's not a case of just signing players for now. It was always about the longer term, knowing what was coming round the corner, knowing that players will naturally move on. The amount of players that are going to be out of contract, the wage bill will naturally come down because of the number of players, but we're still in a very, very good position. And I'm excited about what can be done to try and improve the group, the work that's going on, the conversations we've already had, the future planning conversations about where we can get the squad at the start of next season. Clearly my full focus though is between now and the end of the season and trying to finish the season as strongly as we can. Everything we've set out to do is still achievable. So from that point of view, we need to keep pushing forward and keep building this momentum, and that's my focus between now and the end of the season. And naturally, once we get to the end of the season, we see where we are, we'll reassess it from there.
Where are you now then in terms of players staying and in terms of players who you will be moving on?
Yeah, I think as soon as the window closes, then you get a better idea of, well, everybody's here till the end of the season minimum, every single player who's in there. The window's closed, nobody can move on, nobody can take your players, all these things that come with that. So naturally, as soon as the window closes, the conversations then start to, naturally the players that are out of contract will start to seek assurances about their future. So the conversations are being had now, and I think between now and the end of the season, as a player, we're all in good positions in terms of playing well. If they are out of contract, if they're not out of contract, can you get in the team and stay in the team? The biggest thing for me is just to make them all happy, to make sure they keep playing with a smile on their face, getting results every single week. Because if you're going on that football pitch, you're being judged every single time, and it's everyone's best interest to try and do as well as they can every time they play. And if that's fighting for a contract here, if it's trying to move away, whatever it might be, personal gain, whatever the motivation is, every player's got their own motivations. Maybe it's money, maybe it's family, maybe it could be anything. Whatever drives them to be the best they can be, as long as we are collectively achieving things on the pitch, everyone should be in a better place come the end of the season.
Say that's the biggest job, is to try and keep everybody happy. How do you do that?
I think honesty is a big thing, trying to keep people happy from that point of view, as long as you're fair and honest all the time and consistent. I use that word a lot about being consistent. And I think the big thing for that is winning games of football. If we're in a good place at the moment, momentum's really good. I think the fact the groups came through a tough period and stuck together during that period, we're really getting the rewards from now. And hopefully we can really push on now towards the end of the season. And as I've already said, it was another big factor in why we didn't bring in a lot of players in the transfer window. I think I was really delighted with the players that were coming back, the squad that was already there, the momentum we've been building and the togetherness within it. You always take the risk of adding to that, what that does to the culture and the group moving forward, but we're in a real good place at the minute and hopefully we can finish the season really strong.
The cup draw, is that the toughest you could have had, I would have thought?
Pretty much. I think on paper it's certainly as tough as it gets, isn't it? I think though, listen, our objective at the start of the season, I've said it many times now, is can you win a cup? It's a definite opportunity to try and do that and try and finish as high as you can in the league, obviously the top end of the league. And for Hibs to win the cup, somebody's going to have to beat Celtic, so why can it not be us? It's going to have to be us now.
It's going to have to be you now.
Correct, yeah. Exactly that.
Before that, you've got some big league games coming up. Trying to keep this momentum going and the battle for the top 6 place, obviously you're there at the moment. The objective obviously to stay there. How do you get that message through to the players, or do you need to give them that message?
Yeah, we're constantly goal setting and thinking about things and where we need to get to. We've gave ourselves a brilliant opportunity for where we are. We are in that top 6 at the moment, but can quickly change, going both ways. We've got an opportunity the weekend to try and claw back a few points on St Mirren. You know, we've played this, it'll be the third time we've played them this season, and obviously they beat us twice, so we need to try and wrong that. And if you look at the games, we need to be our very best to make sure we can do that, because the 2 times we've played against them this season, especially the second 45 minutes of the first game of the season, we were below our level and we got punished. St Mirren are very much a team that are very well organised, very well coached, that can punish you. And when you think back to the home game, they started the game miles better than us, and we found ourselves 2-0 down in the game. I know we chased the game second half and we're unfortunate not to get back into it, but the damage had been done by that point, so it's on us to make sure we go down there and put a game plan in place to give us the best chance to win. We know it'll be a real difficult game, but one that we are capable of going there and winning, and that's the full focus.
Talking about the finances, David, I wonder, in terms of making the top 6, does that just highlight the importance of finishing as high up the table as you can? Because every penny's a prisoner, but every penny's a prisoner in terms of prize money and whatnot.
I think, as I've said many times, regardless of the number that's profit, loss, whatever the number is that the club produces from a financial side, and that number that goes out there, the objectives of this football club is always the same. So we always need to be finishing in that top 6 minimum with a chance of trying to finish in Europe. That's always been my objective at this football club as a player, and now with every manager I've worked with as a coach, and now that I'm the head coach, that's the message to the players every time. When you play for a club like this, with the expectation, the demands, just everything that goes with it, that you need to be competing at the top end of this league, and we know that doesn't change regardless of what numbers you produce from a financial point of view. And I think that your rewards come from being more successful, of course.
Do you understand that when fans see a number like that, they do get worried, anxious, questioning what's going on? You understand that from the fans' point of view?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's never. You wouldn't like to see the number coming out and everyone panicking about it, but at the same time, as I've already said, all I can talk about is the experience I've had with it, which is the support I've had throughout the whole way. The numbers there. As I've said, the Gordon family have been incredibly supportive of me, but not just me. I think back to all the managers previously, since they joined the football club, and where the club is now to where it has been, the amount of investment in it, from that point of view, has been incredible. It's in a far better place in terms of off the pitch. You start to think about the investment in the stadium, the improvements there, the training ground, which is still continuing to be developed all the time. They want to take the club forward, the ambitions of that, and majority of it was Ron's sort of vision when he came to the club and where he wanted to take it to. The stadium now is at that level. My job is to try and make sure I bring the playing side up to where it needs to be, because in recent years we've not been where we needed to be, and that's a challenge to myself, my staff and all the players every single time they pull on that jersey, to make sure we get everything moving forward, because everything is geared up here. It's a fantastic club to be really successful.
8 games now to go before the split. Is this the point that you relish with every game's almost like a 6-pointer and everyone's trying to beat one another, and it's down to the nitty-gritty?
It certainly is. When you look at the fixtures, when you look at how tight the league is, actually, when you think back to St Johnstone maybe a couple of weeks ago, before they put a couple of results together, were maybe cut away, but they're within touching distance again, and everyone playing, 8 games to go, everyone's still got a chance of getting into that top 6, and at the moment our full focus is just trying to win the next game, and where we can get to, can you cement that place in the top 6 as quickly as possible? Naturally, with how tight it is at the moment, if the earlier you can do that, you've still got a chance of then starting to look up the way even further than that. But full focus at this moment in time for where we've been this season and the way the league is about trying to get there as quickly as you can, because it will be difficult with the fixtures that are ahead.
How's your team looking in terms of injuries? Not everyone survived it, okay?
Yeah, we're all moving in the right direction. Alessandro obviously missed the Ayr United game with him being on the winter break, so we've took the opportunity not to include him in the squad to try and get him up to speed a little bit quicker. So put him through a bit of a mini pre-season, trying to get him up to speed, which he's responded really well to. It's still a wee bit early in terms of the game's not till Sunday, so we're going to give him as much time as we can to try and get work into him to see if he'll be available for this weekend, but it's a bit soon to monitor that one just now. But apart from that, there was nobody really coming back. The longer term ones are still maybe not going to be quite ready, but are back on the grass and involved in the group all the time, so we're definitely getting there, which is great.